Hello, third graders. I am excited to tell you that today is our last day with our Greek gods and goddesses notes. So right now, go ahead and find that note page that you've been using every single day. Make sure that you have it by you so that you are able to take the notes down. Today, we are going to learn about our last three Greek gods. So please make sure that you pay close attention. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's do some review from before. Everyone knows that a myth is a traditional story, especially one about the early history of a group of people or explaining some natural or social phenomenon, and typically involving supernatural beings or events. Some synonyms are folk tale, folk story, legend, tale, or fable. We all know him. He is one of the big three. This is Poseidon, who is the god of the sea, rivers, floods, droughts, and earthquakes. Along with Zeus and Hades, he was considered one of the big three most important gods. Symbol of power is trident. Sacred animals are horse and dolphin. We know our guy Zeus is also part of the big three. Zeus is the king and father of the gods, the ruler of Mount Olympus, and the god of the sky, weather, thunder, lightning, law, order, and justice. He overthrew his father Cronus to become the most powerful Olympian. Some symbols of power are lightning bolt. Sacred animals are eagle and bull. Here is a picture of our last big three Greek god. This is Hades. He's the god of the underworld and the dead and the god of regret. Along with Zeus and Poseidon, he was considered one of the big three most important gods. Some symbols of power, the cornucopia and the helm of darkness. Some sacred animals are the screech owl and the Cerberus. Here is our girl, Athena. Athena is the goddess of intelligence, skill, peace, battle, strategy, and wisdom. And she was born from Zeus's head. Her symbols of power are the shield and spear. Her sacred animal is an owl. Here is Hera. Hera is the queen of the gods and goddess of marriage, women, kings, and empires, wife of Zeus. Symbols are lotus-tip staff, and sacred animals are a heifer and a peacock. This is Ares. Ares, the god of war, bloodshed, and violence. Some symbols include helmet and spear, sword. Sacred animals are vultures, snakes, dogs, and boars. And then we have Apollo, who's the god of music, arts. Another thing I want you to notice is the pictures on all of these. This one, Apollo is riding with 4 horses. God of music, arts, knowledge, healing, prophecy, poetry, and archery. He is also the twin brother of Artemis. Symbols include a sun, laurel wreath, lyre. Sacred animals are swans, hawks, and crows. Here is Artemis. She's the goddess of the hunt, wilderness, animals, and young girls, and she's the twin sister of Apollo. Symbols include moon, hunting bow, and arrows. And sacred animals are deer and bears. And then we have Hermes. He's the god of travel, trade, communication, language, and writing, known as the messenger of the gods. And this symbol right here on the right-hand side of the screen, that's a symbol that you probably have seen in the doctor's office, maybe you're dealing with some medicine. Symbols include a caduceus, which is this, winged sandals, and the traveler's cap. And his sacred animals are the tortoise, ram, and hawk. Our next god and goddess is Dionysus. This is a weird spelling. I won't make you spell it right away, but eventually you'll have to know how to spell it. Dionysus is the god of parties, chaos, wine, festivals, and madness. Satyrs serve him. The symbols include a cycerus, a pinecone-tipped staff, and grapevines. Sacred animals are a tiger, dolphin, and donkey. So if you take a couple of seconds now to copy this down, Okay, our next one is Hephaestus. Hephaestus is the god of fire, metalworking, and crafts, and he is the husband of Aphrodite. His symbols are hammer, tongs, and anvil. Sacred animals include a donkey, guard dog, and a crane. Go ahead and take a couple of seconds to write this down. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Our next one is Aphrodite. Aphrodite is the goddess of love, beauty, and pleasure, and she's the wife of Hephaestus. So just like Hera and Zeus were married, Aphrodite and Hephaestus are also married. Symbols include roses and all other flowers. This is my favorite because you know Miss Peterson is so obsessed with flowers. I love every flower. And once you eventually do see my classroom, you'll see that I have flowers everywhere. And so her symbols include a scallop shell, and her sacred animals are doves and sparrows. Go ahead and take a couple of seconds. Okay, here is our next one. Our next goddess is Hestia. Hestia is the goddess of hearth and home, gave her seat as one of the 12 Olympians to Dionysus. Okay, so before Hestia, all of these that we have learned, so let me show you. The Greek gods that we have learned, Poseidon, Zeus, Hades, Athena, Hera, Ares, Apollo, Artemis, Hermes, Dionysus, and Hephaestus and Aphrodite are all of the 12 Olympians, okay? So this means that we have now learned the 12 biggest Olympians in Greek mythology. So when they talk about the big three in Greek mythology, you know that that's Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon, okay? But when we talk about the Olympians, that's Zeus, Hades, Poseidon, Hera, Athena, Apollo, Artemis, Ares. Let's see if Miss Peterson can do this without looking. Aphrodite, Hephaestus, and, oh, Miss Peterson's missing one. Which one? Dionysus and Hermes, okay? So now that you know the 12 Olympians of Greek mythology, this is going to be so important for Percy Jackson, which is the novel that we're going to read after we get back from fall break, okay? So you guys are now going to, in your composition notebook, you guys are going to do a writing prompt. The writing prompt is to write 10 sentences about your favorite Greek god or goddess that you've learned about and explain why they are your favorite. So if I were to choose, I would probably choose Aphrodite. One of the reasons is because her symbol would be a flower, and Miss Peterson loves flowers. So of the 12 Olympians that you have learned about now, in our videos, you are going to go ahead and write 10 sentences about why they are your favorite and really use lots of description as to why, okay? That has to be done in your, oh, in your composition notebook. Okay, so once you're done here, I would also like you to study the notes we have taken all week, because tomorrow you have a test where it's not just your spelling words, but it's also going to ask about Greek mythology. It's going to ask what some of these gods are the gods of. So for example, Zeus is the king of all of the gods. Hades is the god of the underworld. Tomorrow it's going to ask you who the big three are. Study your notes. Study your notes. Read through them. If you read through them, you will do fine. You also need to complete a spelling menu to make sure that you practice all your spelling words for tomorrow's test. So what you need to do now is write 10 sentences in your composition notebook, complete a spelling menu, and study for your test tomorrow. 3 very important things. Have an adult help you study if you want. Maybe you can read it to them. That's all you have to do today. Of course, if you have any questions, go ahead and message me. Bye.